Hey guys, Justin Brock here, sitting here in my sunroom. Love this room. And I just put up a post on Facebook and I was asking people what they thought their biggest thing they wanted to change in their business for 2024 was. And I didn't get a lot of something that I think everyone needs to know is a problem. And that's consistency and why they can't do the work that is required to get to the place that they say that they want to be. Sometime in this video, why you can't do the work. I think it's important to understand, all these different factors that people will tell you will help you do the work day in and day out. And I don't mean, helping a Medicare beneficiary. I don't mean, doing the fun stuff, filming the content, whatever that may be for you. I mean, the things that seem hard, the things that seem cumbersome to you, the things that seem like I'm going to avoid that at all costs, right? The first things most of us would hire out if possible. And I think that, a lot of these things people tell us are, consume motivation, create a ritual, a morning routine, all of these different things. And I'm not trashing any of those things. Some of those things can work, subtly and maybe over time can, hack your brain or even push you to do more in an arena that you don't care much about. But I think personally, the one thing that makes it impossible for you not to do the work is to absolutely fall in love with what you're doing. Really think about, all of the people that you're helping, all of the agents you're helping, consumers you're helping, and fall in love with the problem solving. No, I want to get to here, and the equation to get me from where I am now to where I want to be next is this, and fall in love with solving the equation. And most people don't do that. They struggle to get up, but you have to fall in love with different increments of this process, because at first it's getting out and networking and selling, and then it's, marketing, and then it's understanding different types of marketing. And then, there's, other aspects of it like hiring and the operational infrastructure and dealing with, employee riff-raff and drama and back and forth and, personality juggling. And then eventually it's trying to replace yourself, becoming the CEO and then replacing yourself as CEO eventually. Those are all things. Maybe you never want to get to a certain level, but those are all parts of and rungs of the ladder that you have to fall in love with that process and enjoy the problem solving. And I say that because, and I come into that understanding of it because that's who I am. Some people say they have trouble getting, on track and staying on track and doing the work because they'll sit around and consume content and they'll do the things that they really enjoy, but those things don't align with the goals or objectives of the organization and how to grow it. But I have always had the reverse, issue. And the reverse issue is, I'm constantly, obsessed with the growth of the organization. I would have issues with, kind of disconnecting from the organization, and I'm just always thinking about it. How do I grow? And I think some of that too comes from an insatiable, I would say insatiable, a fear. There's a fear that if I don't continue to grow, someone else is going to come and take my growth. A lot of that, maybe comes from the Marine Corps. When I was in the Marine Corps, there was there's an old saying that somewhere in the jungle, in a much harsher environment, there's someone training under more austere conditions with more intensity than you, and they're training to kill you. And so the concept was you have to train harder to outpace those people. And then that translates to business. It translates to being a top employee. It translates to being a parent or a child or anything in life. If you can harness that feeling, whether right or wrong, doesn't matter. It's been very helpful to us. So I'm thinking about Like, how do I love the work that I do? If you're in health insurance or Medicare, it's helping elderly, helping agents, solving problems, providing opportunities and culture for other people. And you know, this is really, some of these are overlapping. If you're in real estate, if you're in, you know, property and casualty insurance sales, if you're in, if you're building a retail business, if you're building a real estate based, you know, investment business, whatever it is, there are things that you can fall in love internally with the business. It's not to say that you should fall in love with, you know, the legal language of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or that you should fall in love with, you know, lawsuits involving, you know, Keller Williams, and looking at, you know, the very you know, finite details. But if you're in love with the overall concept, those things will get easier. You'll want to understand those things, because I want to be the highest level of understanding within my niche, right? And that's what's gotten us to where we are, is that insatiable appetite for information related to the niche that I love and obsessed with and invested in. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how to get people to install new drivers in their brain when they're not in love with something that's beneficial to their end goal, the goals that they say they have. Now, I know that everyone wants money, you know, because that's just what people want, right? I want money, I want wealth, I want freedom, right? And that alone, you know, many people say is not enough. You need a why. And if you need a why, and it's not money, what is it? And so what I've found is, if you have a why that is detached from the money side, then, you know, you can do the work that is required. You can fall in love with the process, and then, you know, eventually the money should follow that, right? Eventually. And these drivers that I'm talking about, installing drivers on your brain, are obsessions, really, installing obsessions. So when I got out of the Marine Corps almost 11 years ago, the first obsession I had was replacing my income and taking care of my family. And I had fear of failure of that. You know, when you're getting out of the Marine Corps, they scare you. Like, life on the outside is hard. You got to think about it. I was 18 when I joined. So I'd had some jobs, but they were definitely not jobs that provided me with $60,000 a year in income. So my first obsession was provide for my family. Quickly, I got out. My dad was an agent, and it became impress my father. And by impress my father, in my head, it meant do more than he could ever fathom, which is always a moving target, you know, because the more I would do, the more there was some sort of downgrading or degrading of that achievement, you know, until eventually that wasn't a thing anymore. And then it was destroy internal competition. That kind of became part of that impressed father thing. It was like, I wanted, you know, anybody else that we knew was an agent or we had an affiliation with at all, I wanted to be the top agent by far, bringing in new business my way. And eventually that turned into new marketing objectives. And when I did that and I started feeling the income grow, then it started to click that there was immense opportunity. I was not chasing the money at all in the beginning. I was chasing the feed my family, provide for my family, get them out of the ghetto, and you know, beat everybody else. Beat everybody else meant, if I beat everybody else, I'll be able to provide for my family very well. And then after that happened, I started chasing, you know, new desires. I was beating my own internal goals for a while, and then I started hiring people and hoping that I could get them to beat their goals year after year. And then eventually we started online communities and started working with agents all around the country because I wanted to be about the agent and the process and the business. And then the entire thing shifted, but it became an obsession the entire way, right? And so installing new drivers for you, you have to figure out what's important to you so that you can make the hard work align with your obsession. If the hard work doesn't align with your obsession, I don't think you'll ever be able to do it day in and day out consistently without insane distraction. Motivation hacks and routines can help a little bit, but they're short-lived. Obsession, it's just something you can't take away. So I hope that helps you guys, you know, figure out, if you can figure out how to align your obsession, your, you know, most innate, you know, desire, whatever that is, with the hard work that will get you further, then you don't have to worry about the consistency and doing the hard work. And I think that most of you, most of the people watching need that more than they need the next marketing tip or the hack or the whatever. Because if I told you everything I was doing marketing wise, most of you wouldn't do it. And that's proven, that is true. Most of you won't spend the money on it. You won't take the gamble. You won't take the risk, and you won't take the time and the energy and the effort that's required to learn it. If I tell you everything that I know, you still won't understand it. So you'd have to take the time to understand it, and the time to test it, and the time to make it work under your terms, in your organization, your business, your process, right, at your level. So I do continue to tell people things that we know and share those things. And so I hope that some of you take them seriously. But until you can align the objectives of your business or your business objectives with your obsessions, I don't think you'll ever truly tap into that insane level of success that gives you that aha moment one day, like, wow, this is something I thought I'd never have. So happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much for watching.